This is Daniel Halseth and his daughter Sierra. Daniel and Sierra were two peas in a pod. That is, until Sierra's boyfriend entered the picture. After being forbidden to see each other any longer, Sierra and her boyfriend, Aaron Guerrero, murdered Daniel and went on the run. Katie and Kristi dig deeper into this perplexing case. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver. I'm here with my sister, co host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Well,
You know,
sounds
nothing
good.
super exciting. Y'all know I'm getting ready to have a hysterectomy. So, just
Yeah,
boring doctor's appointments,
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
true. We did
Other
get
than
to
that,
go to
doing
lunch
great.
today, so
Yes,
that
we
was
did.
great. Yeah,
That was very nice. Yeah. It
yeah. Went to Applebee's. It's not super exciting, but it was great.
was good. It was
In
good.
my town, during the month of August, the college shuts down for a month and all the students go home. And that literally reduces our population by half. So you can really move freely about town. You can go into restaurants, you can go to the grocery store,
The
and
1 month out of the year.
right, and not battle a wild crowd. So anyway, we're just enjoying it.
No kidding.
No offense to the students, just, there's a lot of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
there certainly are. And the town has changed so much because of them.
Oh gosh. Our childhood home, we discovered a couple of years ago, was set to be demolished
Yeah.
to build more student housing. And we wanted our kids to get to go in there. They'd never been there before.
Mhm.
So we broke in. I mean, it was empty and set to be demolished. And then we stole the front door.
As you do.
As you
I
do.
mean,
I still have
yeah.
it. I don't know what I'll ever do with it, but I have it, by God.
Yeah, you do.
Yep. So there you go. Well, this is a special report. This is our Tuesday case. And rather than have segments with this episode, we're going to just stick to the main case because there's a lot. And,
Mhm.
there's only so long we want an episode to be. So we're just going to stick it
Right?
with this. It's plenty. So I think we'll go ahead and just dive right in.
Let's do it.
So this is the murder of Daniel Halseth. So I want to back up to before the murder and tell you a little bit about Daniel. So Daniel was born in Oregon in 1976. He was a drummer and really an intelligent guy. He was very gifted, well educated, uh, beloved, and was an IT guy. And he lived in Las Vegas.
Hmm.
Well, Daniel, he oh, sorry, he was a drummer. I don't know if I mentioned that. He was known as Drummer Dan in his circles,
Oh,
and he graduated from Corbin University with a master's in business and worked, it looks like, in IT. So, at any rate, he had three kids. He and his wife were married, and he and his wife were married. That's obvious. When he and his wife were married, when they moved to Nevada, she ran for Republican as a Republican for the Nevada State Senate, and she won in 2010.
hmm.
And she served until 2012. And in 2012, she resigned from her role, saying that the demands of the job were just too much for a single mother. In the midst of all of that, in 2011, Dan Halseth was arrested on suspicion of open and gross lewdness against her. Uh, and then it was also reported that she had had an affair. So, at any
Hmm.
rate, they got divorced. And it looks like things were fairly calm for a few years until they began a really, really contentious custody battle over their daughter, Sierra.
Ah, okay.
So this started in 2020, and it was really ugly. In fact, the judge said, this entire case discourages me. It is possible that after taking evidence, I just ripped the child out of dad's home and put the child solely in mom's home. The problem was she wouldn't stay at mom's home. She didn't want to be at mom's home. And
Um,
every time he would take her back and drop her off at mom's house, within a couple hours, she'd be showing back up at dad's.
oh boy.
And they both were pretty ugly about it. They were pretty ugly in court. She
Mm.
had her own attorney, and her attorney had said, there's more to
The
the story.
the daughter had her
Yeah.
own attorney? Okay.
hmm Sarah had her own attorney, and he said, there's more to the story than we've heard so far and what's been released in the media. It's a process, and this process takes time. And at some point in the future, there will be a complete picture for everyone to understand what happened and why this happened. We ask everyone to reserve judgment until we see the complete picture.
And that was
So,
about the murder or about the
it's
custody?
in an article about custody, but that sure feels like it was more about the murder.
Mhm.
Uh, Mom had been in front of the judge saying that I just want my daughter back. In March, this was March, like a month before the murder. Mom was in court telling the judge that she just hadn't seen her daughter in months. She said, Daniel and his home isn't a healthy one. He has clearly been bashing me and speaking negatively about me and lying to Sierra, which has negatively impacted my relationship with her. I want my daughter back. I want her to be healthy again and emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically healthy again. I want what's best for her, and she deserves that. The response
Mm.
to that from Dan Halseth was that his ex wife was lying. He said, it feels like reality TV every time I hear Elizabeth speak. I have no idea why she's saying the things she's saying. So lots and lots of back and forth, as you can see. This went on for
Mhm.
quite some time. There was a CPS intervention at some point at her mother's house.
Mm.
There was a lot of trouble, in other
Yeah.
words, and this went on for quite some time. And again, every time he would take her to mom, she would just show right back up at his house. Things were really rough
Mhm.
there. But obviously, mom didn't feel like she was in a good place. This was just 1 month, of course, before this tragedy happened. Well, at some point, they discover that she is dating this kid named Aaron Guerrero, who is 18 and she's 16, and that they had plans to run away. Now, they had been dating at this point for close to a year and had been forbidden to see each other a few times and had kept sneaking back together.
Mhm.
And they had plans to run away together to California. And
Mm.
this was when the families both were like, done. You are not to see each other anymore. This is over. And Aaron ran away from home.
Boy.
Well,
Well, but Aaron's 18, so
mm-hmm. Yeah. So on April 9th, later in the day, at some point, Sierra's grandmother, Daniel's mother, couldn't get a hold of him. Or on the 10th, somewhere between the 9th and the 10th of April of
mm.
2021.
Mhm.
So, and the reason she was concerned is because Daniel had an ex wife who he was still really close with, and they shared a joint checking account.
Mm.
Well, she noticed about $1,300 being taken out of that checking account for no reason. She hadn't heard from Daniel and she thought that was really weird. So she'd
Mhm.
been trying to get a hold of him to make sure everything was okay and find out what was up with that money and couldn't get a hold of him. So she had checked with Christine, his mother, who also couldn't get a hold of him.
Mhm.
So grandma, started texting Sierra and saying she couldn't get a hold of him. So one of the text exchanges, I'm trying to get a hold of your dad. Where is he? Sierra, his phone has been acting up, but he's okay. It should be fixed by tomorrow night. No worries. So The day after that exchange, he had never called. Christine had texted Sierra repeatedly and Dad repeatedly, getting nothing. She finally said, "Why are you doing this? Now the police are involved." So Christine called the police and asked for a welfare check. So we're going to listen to that.
How may I help you?
Yeah, hi. I need a welfare check. I don't know if
On who are we doing a welfare check?
for my son. He's been missing for 2 days. His work's called, his family's called, I've called, his ex-wife's called, and there's nobody answering the phone, and there's nothing. Nobody can get a hold of him, and then his work called, and they can't get a hold of him, and it's really, he just doesn't act like this.
Okay. Does he live alone?
He lives with his 16-year-old daughter, who is not answering the phone.
Okay.
Or replying to a text.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird part is, I'll just tell you this, there's been ATM withdrawals at 3 different ATMs.
So law enforcement makes contact with his landlord. And his landlord and another person are willing to go over and check on him. And this is just the course of like a couple hours from the call for the welfare check. And then they go over to check on Daniel, and they go in the house and they discover that the house has had a fire and that there's still a fire kind of smoldering in the house. And they go into the garage and they discover something really horrifying. And they call 911.
911 emergency, Guerrero 16497. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
How's it a dead body? Oh my God. 8417 Dumpsy Court. 8417 Dumpsy Court.
Do you need police, fire, or medical?
There was a fire, and we went in to investigate. The fire must be a couple of days old. But there's a dead body in the garage we just found. I'm with the homeowner that doesn't live here.
Okay. And you're in there right now?
Yeah.
Yikes.
So, of course, the police come and they determine that this is, in fact, Daniel Halseth. And they find some other stuff in the house that's really concerning. Gallons and gallons of lighter fluid.
Whoa.
2 different saws that have been used.
Ugh.
As if whoever killed Daniel tried to chop up his body but was unsuccessful.
Oh, God.
Then Daniel was placed inside a sleeping bag and dragged into the garage and lit on fire.
Wow.
Cause of death was stabbing. He was stabbed 70 times.
Oh, my God.
So imagine the scene. There are bloody saws, blood everywhere, blood spatter as well as tissue. Imagine what this looks like, horrifying. And then this body in the garage in a sleeping bag that has sustained burns over 40% of his body and is, of course, deceased. So it doesn't take the police very long to put together a picture of what has happened here. They start thinking that this was, of course, Sierra and perhaps her boyfriend who has run away from home. So some of the proof that they had, they have CCTV video of Sierra purchasing bleach at Winco, Guerrero at Home Depot buying a saw, lighter fluid, gloves, and other things. And then, of course, the bloody scene inside the home with knives, saws, the lighter fluid, and burnt material. And the fact that Daniel's bank cards were used to make all of these purchases and withdrawals.
Oh, geez.
And when they finally find Daniel's car, a blood-soaked rug in the back of it. because then they took Daniel's car and used it as a getaway car.
With a blood-soaked rug in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They were
yikes.
idiots, bad criminals.
Not good criminals at all, for sure.
Yeah,
No,
no,
good, thank heavens. At least
yeah,
they were easy to catch.
yeah. So, of course, they're gone. They're on the run, and there's an APB put out for them, for the car as well as for them. Well, what do you know? A couple of days later, they turn up in Salt Lake City.
Oh.
So you figure Salt Lake City is from Las Vegas by car, around 6 hours. So they have driven to Salt Lake. They are spotted on CCTV on the public transit. Now, there are some reports that they had hopped on public transit and didn't buy a ticket. That's not fully substantiated, but that's what some YouTubers are saying. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what some people are saying, that that's really how they found them, is because they broke the law.
Mhm.
But at any rate, they saw them on CCTV at early in the morning at 5:49 a.m. on the train there in Salt Lake. Officials said that they spotted them on camera and on multiple platforms between 5:50 and 8:40 a.m. They got on and off the train at least 10 times,
Maybe they didn't have anywhere else to go
I guess. After 70 minutes of sleeping on the bus, there is video, and I don't have it.
on the train, or did they get on a bus?
It's the train, yeah. They are sitting on the front of it, laughing and kissing. Two officers walk right up to them and they act pretty oblivious. And the officer leans in and talks to them for a minute and puts cuffs on them and hauls them off.
Wow.
That's how they picked them up. So then, of course, they are taken into custody and they search their phones. And what they find on their phones pretty much seals the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Day 3 after murdering somebody.
Wow! Don't put that on the camera.
It was worth it.
And we had sex a lot today.
It was worth it. I got plenty of sex over it. I was payment for doing it.
And no bleeding this time. We got through that. We overcame.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know what to say.
What the hell did I just watch?
So
Wow.
day 3 of after killing somebody, that was what he said in the very beginning. Yeah. These two are a hot mess, obviously.
Terrifying.
It's terrifying. It's unreal to just see that video. Like, this is just the most blasé thing. Also, the way he's manhandling her, the choking, the slapping, the blood. Yeah.
Yeah, that
What
was
the hell? Yeah.
creepy. Very creepy.
All of it. Very creepy. So, of course, that's, part of what sinks them, as well as all of the CCTV. What they do is they extradite them back to Las Vegas, and the prosecutor took it to a grand jury. And a grand jury indicted them both on 9 counts each
Wow.
of murder, as well as conspiracy, arson, robbery, fraudulent use of a credit card, and yada yada, right? So she can be charged as an adult in Nevada because she's 16, and she was charged as an adult. Though she would not qualify for the death penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Because of her age, but he could have received the death penalty. So, however, they both pled not guilty in June of 2021. They have sat in jail now for the last year. And this year, at the end of May, they both pled guilty.
Wow. A little
Mhm.
reality has landed in their
Apparently
little love
so.
affair, apparently.
Well, I mean, this reminds me a little of the Daybell Vallow case in that there is so much evidence. How could what what else could a
Right. They have no
defense
defense at
attorney
all.
do? Yeah, except for try to get them the best deal they can because with that much evidence and with that video, I mean,
Yeah, they're screwed.
that's looking bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, of course, Aaron could have been looking at the death penalty. So
Right.
anyway, so that's what happened. They were supposed to be sentenced on July 15th,
Hmm.
but there is absolutely nothing out there about their sentencing, which leads me to believe it probably got delayed, which
Hmm.
is pretty normal. But I couldn't even find evidence of it being delayed. But I suspect that's what happened because that will definitely be in the news, whatever sentence they get. I
Yeah.
did see one lawyer talking about this case that said that they suspected that they would both be done with their terms and out by their mid 40s.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what the judge decides to do with this or the jury. I'm not sure who sentences in this case, but at any rate, that should still be coming. But those are the bones of this case.
That is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen this fire meets gasoline kind of relationship before with
Mm-hmm.
Lori and Chad,
Yeah.
and this is definitely like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of,
Mm-hmm.
type deal. That's absolutely horrifying that she murdered her dad and she
Mm-hmm.
clearly had no remorse at all.
No, none. His social media is absolutely packed with videos of her and Daniel's videos of her hanging out with her, doing silly things, going hiking, hanging out. They spent a lot of time together, and it seems like until she got this boyfriend, he was just the apple of, or she was the apple of his eye. They had a lot of fun together, though
Sure.
obviously there was some very contentious custody stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
It is really concerning. I About 6 months before the murders, the judge was trying to order some counseling for her,
Mm-hmm.
and mom and dad couldn't agree on that. And there'd been a lot of contention about her going to counseling, where she was going to go to counseling, who was taking her to counseling, and yada yada. Not sure she ever got the counseling, but there was just so much back and forth. Sierra also wrote a letter to the judge that Daniel presented to the judge about the reasons why she did not want to live with her mom.
Mm-hmm.
And the judge was really unhappy about that and felt like Daniel was dragging Sierra into this and that
Mm-hmm.
was really unfair. This is where a counselor could have helped. But anyway, I'm not saying that their custody battle resulted in Daniel's death. However, it's clear from things the judge said, the mom said, that things weren't right in this girl's world,
Mm-hmm.
and that and or she was really struggling, which is what seems to be true. And as we know, there was kind of a secret dating life going on with this older boy for quite a few months before it got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
What was truly going on with this kid obviously really fell through the cracks.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was feeling, I would imagine, completely out of control of her own life.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one way to take control back.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible,
Yeah.
horrible way, but
Yeah,
it's just stunning
it
what
is.
she participated in, because there will be a time in her life, and maybe she's at that now, which is why they're pleading. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But, at some point, she's going to come out of the fog and
Yeah.
realize what she's done.
Well, I would hope so. Yeah, it is quite the case. When this happened and the video was released, It was just really stunning to anyone who saw it that these kids literally committed a heinous murder. I mean, not just a murder, that's bad enough, but using power saws to try and saw up his body, lighting him on fire. Like, this was some violent, scary shit. All
Yeah, it
of it.
was.
All
Well,
of
and
it.
stabbed 70
70
times. I
times.
mean, that's rage, is what that
Mhm.
is.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep.
Yikes.
Very sad and concerning.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yep. So we'll keep an eye on this case. Once we see something about sentencing come up, which it will at some point, we will
Mhm.
certainly keep you guys in the know. This will definitely go on to our Wednesday night case updates cases to keep an eye on,
Yeah.
because at some point we'll learn something here about what happened moving forward.
Yeah. So there's got to be a sentencing. So
And in the meantime, sending a lot of love to Daniel's other children, who sure seem to have taken a backseat in all of this in every way possible. However, in his obituary, they are the only children listed.
well, I would
His
think
wife is listed, or not his wife, sorry, his mother is listed, and then 2 loving children. And
yeah.
she's not mentioned.
That would.
Yeah.
Why would you want to mention her at this point?
Oh, I've seen other obits where they are, but in this
Yeah,
case,
I cannot imagine what this must be like for those other two kids.
no, and for his mom.
Yeah.
It's just all so sad and hard. Yeah. But yeah, it just seems to me like the other 2 kids somehow have fallen clear through the cracks, and now they don't have a dad. So
Yeah.
all of
Wow.
our love and condolences go out to all of Daniel's family and friends as well.
Definitely.
And we'll keep you guys updated. So this is Tuesday. We will be back Wednesday with a brand new episode.
Mhm.
Wednesday night for Wednesday night case updates, and Thursday night, well, for the Psychic Hour, which now is, of course, through our subscription service. And if you want to know more about that, we've talked about it in literally every episode for the last month, so you probably already know. But if you don't, send us an email. But that's what we've got. So thanks so much for being here. Have a good day. Take good care of yourselves. You deserve that. This has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad.
Bye, everybody.